Hello, my dear one. I'm so glad you're here with me. Come in, sit with me for a moment, take a breath, and let your shoulders soften. We are beginning something sacred together, a gentle 12-day journey back home to yourself. For the next 12 days, I will walk with you, speak with you, breathe with you, and remind you of the truth you may have forgotten. You are worthy of your own love, not someday, not when you're perfect, not when life magically improves, but now, today, in this very breath. So let us begin softly, naturally, as if we were sitting together in a quiet room, two souls choosing to create something beautiful. Day 1, awareness. I decide to love myself. My darling, awareness is always the very first step. Every transformation, every shift, every new beginning starts in a single sacred moment when you whisper to yourself, I am willing to see differently. That willingness, small as it may seem, is the seed of all healing. So many of us spend years, even decades, living on automatic, repeating old patterns, criticizing ourselves without even noticing, carrying blame we never deserved, living as though we were our past. Awareness is the gentle hand that touches your cheek and says, wake up, my love. There is more for you than this. You see, you cannot love what you refuse to look at, and you cannot heal what you refuse to acknowledge. Awareness is not judgment. It is not analysis. It is simply the light turned on in a dark room. Suddenly you can see clearly, not to shame yourself, but to understand yourself. And understanding is the beginning of freedom. I have always said, the very act of deciding is powerful, because the moment you decide to love yourself, truly decide, the entire universe rearranges itself to support you. You may not feel it immediately, but a shift begins. A door opens, a new path appears. Let me tell you, my dear, most people wait their whole lives for someone else to choose them. But the real turning point begins on the day you choose yourself. That one decision uproots years of old patterns. That one decision tells your mind, we are doing things differently now. That one decision signals to the universe, I am ready to receive what I once pushed away. Today, I want you to gently recognize all the places where you have abandoned yourself, in thought, in words, in choices. Not to punish yourself, but to reclaim your power. Perhaps you abandoned yourself when you believed someone who said you were not enough. Perhaps you abandoned yourself when you accepted less than you deserved. Perhaps you abandoned yourself when you treated your needs like burdens. Awareness is not about guilt, it is about reunion. So let us start with a simple truth. You deserve your own love, not because of what you do, not because of what you've achieved, not because of how well you perform for others, but because you exist, because you breathe, because you are life itself expressing through a human form. You must remember, my dear, love is not a feeling you wait for. Love is a decision you practice. It is a daily commitment, renewed over and over, like watering a plant or opening a window to let in fresh air. Love grows each time you choose it. It weakens each time you abandon it. But the beautiful thing is, no matter how many times you've forgotten, you can always choose again. Let me ask you softly now, where have you been hard on yourself? Is it your body, your past, your career, your relationships, your mistakes? Write them down, not to dwell, but to release. When you write something down, you take it out of the shadows of your mind and place it in front of you where it loses its power. Healing begins the moment you see something clearly. Then, when you are ready, Sit quietly and place your hand over your heart. Feel it beating. Feel the life within you. And say gently, not perfectly, just gently, "Today I choose me." Say it again. "Today I choose me." You don't need to know how to love yourself. You don't need to feel it fully yet. You only need to be willing. Willingness opens the door, and once the door is open, healing walks in naturally, on its own time, in its own way. Remember, my dear, awareness breaks the old cycles. Awareness dissolves the old lies. Awareness pulls you out of, "I'm not enough." Awareness returns you to the truth. You are lovable just as you are. And now say with me slowly, lovingly, "I am willing to love myself today." Day 2, stop all criticism. Now that your awareness has awakened, my dear, we step into one of the most important teachings I have ever offered. Stop all criticism. Criticism never changes a thing. I have said that for more than 4 decades because it is the root of nearly all self-hate, all guilt, all shame, all emotional suffering. When you criticize yourself, you close your heart. When you criticize yourself, you tighten your body. When you criticize yourself, you reinforce the belief that you are unworthy. Criticism is not discipline. Criticism is not correction. Criticism is a wound creating more wounds. And here is the truth most people never realize until much later in life. Self-criticism is a habit, and like any habit, it can be unlearned. Let me ask you gently, would you speak to a child the way you speak to yourself? Would you tell a friend the things you tell yourself in private? Would you judge someone else as harshly as you judge your own heart? Of course not, because you know it would break them. And yet you allow your mind to break you again and again. But today, we shift that. Today we interrupt the old pattern. The moment you stop criticizing yourself, your healing begins instantly. Not tomorrow, not after perfection, not after you finally fix your life, but now, in this breath. When you stop attacking yourself, your body softens, your mind unclenches, your heart reopens. So here is your practice, my love. Every time you hear that inner voice say, "You're not enough," gently interrupt it. Replace it with encouragement. "You are learning." Replace it with kindness. "You are doing your best." Replace it with love. "I approve of myself." Not just once, not just when you feel good. Over and over until your mind learns a new language. When you look into the mirror today, and I ask that you do, look into your eyes, not your flaws. Look into the soul inside the reflection and whisper, even if your voice shakes, "I will no longer criticize you." Your mind may resist. Old habits may try to return. That is normal. That is human. That is expected. But each time you choose kindness over criticism, you rewrite your inner world. You create safety where there was fear. You create love where there was shame. You create healing where there was hurt. And now, let us anchor this day with a final affirmation, one that has changed millions of lives. I approve of myself. Say it softly, say it gently, say it often, and let it begin to rewrite the story of your life. Day 3, forgive yourself for everything. My darling, come close for this one. This is one of the most tender, most transformative days in this entire journey. Today, we step into the sacred practice of self-forgiveness, a practice that has softened more hearts, healed more bodies, and freed more souls than almost anything I've ever taught. And I want to begin with the truth I have said again and again for decades. You've been criticizing yourself for years. Try approving of yourself and see what happens. Oh, my love, how often we forget this. How often we punish ourselves for old mistakes, old choices, old versions of who we were. How often we drag yesterday into today, wearing it like heavy clothing that no longer fits. And yet, the moment you forgive yourself, truly forgive yourself, you place all that weight down. You stop carrying memories like stones in your pockets. You stop dragging the past behind you like an anchor tied to your ankle. Forgiveness does not excuse the past. Forgiveness releases the past. Let me say something clearly. The past is over. It is done. It is complete. It has no power except the power you continue to give it. Every time you replay an old wound, you feed it. Every time you repeat an old story, you reinforce it. Every time you shame yourself for something long gone, you revive it. My dear, haven't you suffered enough from what is already over? Haven't you carried the burden long enough? Self-forgiveness is the moment you stop reopening the wound. It is the moment you choose peace over punishment. It is the moment you choose compassion over cruelty. And here is a truth so many forget. You did the best you could with the awareness you had at the time. Let that truth enter your heart. Really let it sink in. You did not fail. You learned. You did not ruin everything. You grew. You did not make unforgivable mistakes. You made human choices with a human mind, living through human emotions. If you had known better, you would have done better. That alone is reason enough to release yourself. Let me tell you something I have witnessed over and over in my work. Self-forgiveness heals the body. When you forgive yourself, resentment drains from your cells. Tension melts from your muscles. Fear loosens its grip around your heart. The body softens. The nervous system relaxes. The immune system strengthens. Forgiveness is not just emotional. It is physical. When you release the past, your body finally exhales. So today, I want you to take a small but profound step. Write a letter to your younger self. Write to the version of you who didn't know what you know now, who was scared, confused, hopeful, trying, failing, learning, reaching, surviving, coping, struggling. Tell them, I see you, I understand you, you were trying, I forgive you. And then, my darling, stand in front of the mirror. Look into your own eyes. Look gently, not critically. Allow whatever emotions rise, and say softly, even if your voice shakes, I forgive you for believing you weren't enough. Because that is the wound beneath all wounds. The belief that you were not enough, not worthy enough, not smart enough, not beautiful enough, not good enough. And yet that belief was never true. It was learned, and anything learned can be unlearned. As you breathe now, say with me slowly from your heart, I free myself from the past. Say it again. Say it until the words feel warm in your chest. Say it until the old memories loosen their grip. Say it until your inner child hears you. Today is the day you stop punishing yourself. Today is the day you stop being your own enemy. Today is the day you begin to walk toward yourself, not away from yourself. Let this be the moment you release yesterday and open the door to tomorrow. Day 4, Inner Child Healing. You are safe with me. Now, my dear, as we continue this journey, we arrive at one of the most tender and precious truths I have ever taught. Every adult, no matter how strong, no matter how successful, no matter how confident on the outside, carries a wounded child within. A soft, scared, hopeful, sensitive little one who is still yearning for love, still longing for safety, still holding memories that were too heavy for a small heart to carry. Today we turn toward that child. Today We say the words they have needed for years. You are safe with me. Let me explain something gently. The fears you feel today, the insecurities that rise, the overthinking, the panic, the loneliness, the emotional reactions that seem too big for the situation. These do not come from the adult you. They come from the child inside who once felt unloved, unheard, unseen, or unsafe. That child learned to hide. That child learned to be afraid. That child learned to be quiet, to be small, to be cautious, to be perfect, to overgive, to over-apologize, to overwork, to hold their breath and hope someone would finally say, "You are enough." But my love, healing begins the moment you say to that inner child, "Little one, I am here. I am not leaving. You are safe now." When you speak to your inner child with love, something miraculous happens. Your emotions begin to regulate. Your reactions soften. Your anxiety calms. Your clarity returns. Why? Because inner child healing is not imaginary. It is neurological. When the child inside you feels safe, your entire nervous system relaxes. Your whole emotional body shifts. The adult self becomes strong. The heart becomes steady. The mind becomes clear. Think of it this way. If a frightened child were crying in the corner, you would not yell at them. You would not shame them. You would not tell them to get over it. You would kneel beside them. You would hold them. You would say, "It's okay. I'm here. You're safe now." So why do we deny ourselves the same compassion? Why do we expect our adult selves to heal without tenderness? My darling, you become your own protector, nurturer, parent the moment you speak kindly to yourself. You do not replace what you lost. You create what you never had. And that is powerful beyond measure. Because when the inner child feels safe, the adult self becomes unstoppable. So today, place your hand over your heart. Feel the warmth, feel the life, feel the truth that you are not alone. Breathe slowly and whisper to yourself, not as an adult, but as a loving caretaker. "Little one, I am here. You are safe now." Say it again. Say it until your body softens. Say it until your inner child believes you. Then close your eyes and visualize holding your younger self. Maybe the 5-year-old you, or the 8-year-old you, or the teenager who was lost, or the young adult who tried so hard to be strong. See them, feel them, hold them, and let them melt into your arms. You may cry, that is good. Tears are the language of release. You may feel warmth, that is good. Warmth is the language of safety. You may feel nothing at first. That is okay too. Healing opens at the pace your heart can handle. And now say with me, my dear one, gently, lovingly, truthfully, I create safety and protection for the child within me. Let this affirmation become the new foundation of your life. Because when your inner child feels safe, you stop needing external validation. You stop chasing love. You stop fearing abandonment. You stop repeating old wounds. You stop running from yourself. You finally come home. My darling, as we continue this 12-day journey of coming home to yourself, I want you to know that you are doing something extraordinary. You are turning inward with courage, with tenderness, with a willingness so many people never give themselves. And that willingness, that little opening in your heart, is already creating room for life to soften you, guide you, and rebuild you in love. Today, we arrive at day 5, one of the most powerful steps you will ever take, letting go of the old stories that have kept you small. Oh, my dear, there are stories you have been telling yourself for far too long. Stories that were born in moments of fear, moments of confusion, moments when you were younger and did not have the wisdom you have now. And yet, even though they are old, even though they are outdated, even though they are no longer true, you may still be living as if they define you. Let us begin with the truth I have repeated for decades. The past has no power over me. I am free. What does that mean? It means that the moment you stop feeding an old story, it loses its strength. The moment you stop repeating it, it begins to dissolve. The moment you stop identifying with it, you step out of the prison that was built entirely in your mind. You see, your identity is not your trauma. Your identity is not your mistakes. Your identity is not the version of you who was scared, who was rejected, who was abandoned, who was misunderstood, who was unprepared. Those were experiences, not definitions. Those were chapters, not the entire book. Those were moments in time, not eternal truths. And yet so many of us keep repeating the same painful story. People always leave me. I always mess things up. I'm not worthy of love. I can't trust anyone. Nothing ever works out for me. My love, these are not facts. These are old stories your mind repeats because they feel familiar. And the mind loves what is familiar, even if it hurts. But here is the miracle. Familiar does not mean true. Familiar does not mean permanent. Familiar does not mean destiny. Old stories create old reactions. New stories create new life, and you deserve a new life. You deserve a story that honors who you are becoming, not who you used to be. So today I invite you to sit with yourself, gently, honestly, and write down the story you have been telling. Write the sentence that has haunted you the longest. Maybe it is, I'm always rejected. Maybe it is, I'm never chosen. Maybe it is, I ruin everything. Maybe it is, I'm too much. Maybe it is, I'm not enough. Don't judge it. Don't shame it. Simply see it. Awareness begins the healing, and then softly, lovingly, rewrite that story. Turn the wound into truth. I am lovable, worthy, and supported. I am learning to choose people who choose me. I am growing into someone who feels safe with love. I am becoming someone who trusts life. Every new sentence is a door. Every new sentence is a choice. Every new sentence is a seed. And when you plant a new story, the old one begins to fade like a shadow in the morning light. Say with me, I release the need to repeat old patterns. Yes, my love, release the need, because it is often a need rooted in fear, not a choice rooted in truth. When you change the story, you change the ending. And when you change the ending, you change your life. Now we move into day 6, a day that has transformed more lives than any other. Mirror work. My dear, mirror work is not an exercise of vanity. It is an exercise of love. It is not about your reflection. It is about your recognition. It is not about the face you see. It is about the soul behind the eyes. Mirror work is my most important healing technique because it bypasses the noise of the mind and speaks directly to your subconscious, the place where all change begins. When you stand in front of a mirror, something magical happens. You meet yourself, not the you that performs for the world, not the you that tries to impress or please or prove, not the you that hides behind perfection or politeness. You meet the raw, real you, the one who feels, the one who hopes, the one who hurts, the one who needs reassurance, the one who longs for love. And for many people, this is the first honest meeting they have ever had with themselves. Let me tell you the truth gently. The mirror reveals where you still reject yourself. When you look into your eyes and feel discomfort, that discomfort is not a flaw. It is an invitation. When you look into your eyes and feel resistance, that resistance is not failure. It is a signal. When you look into your eyes and feel sadness, that sadness is not weakness. It is a memory rising to be healed. The mirror shows you exactly where love is needed most. So today and every day moving forward, I invite you to stand in front of a mirror, not quickly, not casually, not while rushing. Stand with presence, stand with breath, stand with openness. Look into your own eyes, not at your hair, not at your skin, not at the shape of your body. Look into your eyes, the windows of your soul, and take a moment to notice what comes up. Do you look away? Do you feel shy? Do you feel emotional? Do you feel nothing? Whatever arises is acceptable. Whatever arises is workable. Whatever arises is part of your healing. And then, when you are ready, say the words that have changed millions of lives. I love you. I really, really love you. Oh, my love, these words may tremble the first time. They may feel strange on your tongue. They may feel unfamiliar to your ears. You may cry. You may resist. You may soften. But keep going, because the mirror speaks a language the subconscious understands. When you say, I love you aloud, you are feeding your soul. You are feeding your nervous system. You are feeding the child within you. You are feeding the parts of you that were starved for years. And slowly, beautifully, the mirror becomes your friend, your safe place, your home. The reason mirror work is so powerful is simple. The subconscious does not argue with what it repeatedly hears. And when your own voice says, I love you, again and again, day after day, the walls inside begin to crumble. The shame begins to dissolve. The self-rejection begins to soften. And something miraculous begins to grow in its place. Trust, confidence, worthiness, belonging, love. I have watched people who could not say I love you to themselves for months. And then one day, their voice softens, their chest opens, their eyes fill with tears, and the dam breaks. A lifetime of self-criticism melts into one moment of self-recognition. That is the miracle of mirror work. That is the moment a person meets themselves for the first time. Let me remind you of something essential. You are lovable because you exist, not because of what you achieve, not because of what you sacrifice, not because of how perfectly you perform. You are lovable because you exist. Say it with me softly. I am lovable because I exist. This is your birthright, your truth, your home. So today, my dear, let this be your practice. Meet yourself in the mirror. Speak kindly. Speak gently. Speak lovingly. Let your reflection become the friend you've always needed. Let your eyes become the doors to the healing you deserve. Let your voice become the medicine your heart has been waiting for. My darling, welcome to day 7, a day that may feel tender, powerful, and transformative all at once, because today we walk into the emotional room most people avoid, the room of anger, resentment, and fear. You see, these emotions are not wrong. They are not shameful. They are not signs of failure. They are signs that you are human, that you have felt deeply, that you have cared deeply, that you have been hurt, disappointed, or frightened somewhere along the way. And yet, although these emotions are natural, they are not meant to stay forever. They are meant to move through you, not live inside you. They are meant to signal, not suffocate. They are meant to teach, not torture. I want to tell you something that may soften your heart immediately. Anger is a cry for love. It always has been. It is the inner child raising their hand saying, I needed safety there. I needed understanding there. I needed affection there. Anger is not the enemy. Anger is the messenger. And resentment, my darling, is simply anger that stayed too long. It is anger that turned into a story, a narrative, a belief, a wall between you and life. Resentment is a knot in the soul, and knots are meant to be untied, not tightened. When you hold resentment, you bind yourself to the past. When you release resentment, you free yourself to live again. I have said this for decades because it is one of the deepest truths I know. Resentment is poison to the heart and cancer to the soul. It hurts you far more than the person you resent. In fact, most of the people we resent no longer remember the moment we are still carrying. They have moved on. Their lives have shifted. But we, the ones who hold the resentment, we keep the pain alive inside our own bodies. And that is why letting go is not about them. It is about you. It is about your heart. It is about your peace. It is about your freedom. And fear, oh my dear, fear is simply the absence of love. Fear is what rises when you forget how precious you are. Fear is what takes hold when you believe you must survive life alone. Fear dissolves when compassion rises. Fear quiets when tenderness returns. Fear fades when you turn toward yourself with gentleness. So today, in day 7, I invite you not to judge these emotions, but to witness them. Ask yourself honestly, who am I still angry at? Maybe the answer surprises you. Maybe the answer is someone from long ago. Maybe the answer is yourself. Maybe the answer is life. Whatever comes up, let it come. Let it rise without fear. Awareness is liberation. And once you see it, once you name it, once you acknowledge it, you can begin the sacred act of loosening your grip. I want you to hear my voice gently now. You are allowed to let it go. You are allowed to put the burden down. You are allowed to choose peace over punishment. There is a simple practice I have given to millions of people around the world. It sounds simple, but it is powerful beyond measure. You do not need to force forgiveness. You only need to be willing. So say softly, I am willing to let this go. Not, I have forgiven. Not, I'm over it. Simply, I am willing. Willingness opens the door. Willingness dissolves resistance. Willingness lets love in. And now take a breath with me, long and slow, and whisper the affirmation that becomes your new emotional home. I release all fear. I allow love to flow freely. Yes, my darling, let love be your river. Let love be your medicine. Let love be the gentle current that carries the old pain away. And now we move into day 8, one of the most important days in your entire 12-day journey. Because today we build the foundation that every healing, every transformation, every miracle rests upon: inner safety. Without inner safety, healing feels impossible. Without inner safety, the nervous system stays in a loop of tension. Without inner safety, fear overrides intuition. And without inner safety, you cannot feel the love that is already inside you. Let me tell you a truth that may feel new or may feel like a memory you have been longing to touch. You are safe. You have always been safe. Even in moments when you thought you were alone, you were not abandoned. Even in moments when life felt confusing, you were not unsupported. Even in moments when your heart broke, something inside you held you upright, kept you breathing, kept you moving. There has always been a force holding you, guiding you, protecting you, even when you did not feel it. Some people call it God. Some call it life. Some call it inner wisdom. Some call it higher self. It does not matter what name you choose. What matters is that you remember. You were never without support. You were never without guidance. You were never without love. Safety is not something the world gives you. Safety is something you build from within. Safety is an inner experience, a vibration, a belief, a home inside your own chest. When you tell yourself, I am safe, your nervous system relaxes, your shoulders drop, your breath deepens, your heart opens. Anxiety is not an identity. Anxiety is not a flaw. Anxiety is simply the body saying, please show me I am safe. And the beautiful thing is, you can show it. You can learn to regulate your inner landscape. You can learn to speak to your body with kindness. You can learn to offer yourself the reassurance no one else ever gave you. Throughout the day, I want you to pause and say softly, in this moment, I am safe. You don't need to believe it perfectly. You only need to offer it. Each repetition rewires your nervous system. Each repetition teaches your mind a new association. Each repetition builds inner trust. You are teaching yourself a new truth. Safety begins inside. You can also create what I call a mental safe room. This is a place inside your imagination where nothing can harm you. A room of soft light, warm colors, comforting textures. A place where your inner child feels protected. A place where fear cannot enter. A place where you rest, breathe, and restore. This safe room becomes your sanctuary. Visit it as often as you need. Sit there, breathe there, heal there. Because when you create inner safety, you create a new foundation for living. You stop reacting from panic and begin responding from peace. You stop bracing for danger and begin trusting life. You stop contracting in fear and begin expanding in love. My darling, say with me now, slowly and gently, all is well. I am safe. Let the words melt into your nervous system. Let them soak into your heart. Let them re-educate your body. You do not need to fight life. You do not need to fear life. You do not need to run from life. You only need to trust the space within you, because that space, your inner home, is strong. It is wise. It is ancient. And it is unconditional. Day by day, breath by breath, repetition by repetition, you are becoming someone who feels safe inside their own being. And once you feel safe, my love, everything else becomes possible. Healing becomes possible. Joy becomes possible. Love becomes possible. Peace becomes possible. Life becomes possible. Day 9, a day where we return home to the place we have neglected for far too long. The body. The body that carries you, holds you, supports you, even when you do not notice. There is something I want to tell you gently. Said for decades. Something that remains one of the deepest truths of healing. Your body hears everything you say. Every word of criticism, every sigh of disappointment, every angry thought, every harsh judgment. Your body listens. And when the body hears those painful messages again and again, it tightens, it contracts, it defends, it protects, it closes. The body responds exactly the way a child responds when it is yelled at. It tries harder but becomes more afraid. And yet, my dear, the opposite is also true. When you speak to your body with love, kindness, appreciation, gentleness, your body softens, relaxes, opens, breathes. The body is always listening. The body is always learning. The body is always responding. You see, healing the body does not begin with medicine. It begins with language. It begins with the way you speak to yourself when no one is listening. It begins with the tone you use when you look in the mirror. It begins with the secret thoughts you hold when you wake up and the quiet fears that visit you before sleep. Most people live in a silent war with their bodies. They criticize their weight, their skin, their age, their shape, their pain, their needs. They say things they would never say to a friend, to a child, to anyone they love. And then they wonder why the body struggles. The body cannot thrive in an atmosphere of hostility. The body thrives in love. The body blossoms in appreciation. The body heals when it feels safe. So today, I want you to imagine your body as a loyal friend. A friend who has been with you every moment of your life. A friend who has never left you. A friend who works day and night to keep you alive even when you don't notice. Your lungs breathe for you even when you are asleep. Your heart beats for you without ever asking for applause. Your organs restore you. Your cells repair you. Your immune system protects you, all without you needing to command it. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that miraculous? And yet, this friend, your body, is the one you criticize the most. So today, I invite you to touch your body gently. Place your hands on your arms, your shoulders, your belly, your heart, and whisper softly, "Thank you for taking care of me." Feel those words move into your skin. Feel your cells relax. Feel your nervous system sigh in relief. This is love. This is healing. You see, your body is not your enemy. Your body does not betray you. Your body is your home, and homes need care. Homes need kindness. Homes need warmth. Every illness, my dear, begins as a thought pattern. The body and mind are not separate. They are dancers in the same rhythm, partners in the same journey. The mind speaks and the body follows. When you think fearful thoughts, the body tenses. When you think peaceful thoughts, the body eases. When you think loving thoughts, the body heals. This is not a metaphor. This is truth. This is biology. This is energy. So today, drink water with intention. Hold the glass for a moment and say, "I nourish myself." Let the water become a blessing inside you. Every sip an act of love. Every swallow a message of care. Every moment of hydration a reminder that you deserve nurturing. And now, my darling, say the affirmation that will rewire your relationship with your body. I honor my body with love. Feel it move into every muscle, every organ, every breath. This is the beginning of a new partnership. You and your body walking together, not against each other. And now we move gently, naturally, beautifully into day 10. A day that often brings tears to the eyes of those who hear it for the first time. Because today's lesson is the one most people resist the longest. You deserve good simply because you exist. Not because you earned it. Not because you proved yourself. Not because you were perfect. Not because you suffered enough. You deserve good because you are here. You deserve good because you are alive. You deserve good because existence itself is proof of worthiness. I cannot tell you how many people I have held, how many hands I have squeezed, how many hearts I have guided back to the truth that receiving is not selfish, that receiving is not greedy, that receiving is not sinful. Receiving is a part of self-love. You are not here to starve emotionally, spiritually, or materially. You are here to receive, to allow, to open. And yet, so many of us block the very blessings life tries to give us. We deflect compliments. We downplay achievements. We reject praise. We say it's nothing, I don't deserve it. Anyone could do it. And with each rejection, we close the door a little more. But my love, compliments are not threats. Compliments are blessings. Compliments are love in verbal form. And when someone gives you a compliment, the correct response is not to shrink. The correct response is to breathe it in and say, "Thank you." Because when you reject compliments, you are not just rejecting words, you are rejecting abundance. You are rejecting nourishment. You are rejecting acknowledgement. You are rejecting love. Worthiness is not something you earn through perfection. Worthiness is something you remember through awareness. You were born deserving. You were born worthy. You were born enough. So today, I want you to stand somewhere private, your bedroom, your kitchen, your bathroom, and open your arms wide as they can go, palms facing upward, chest open, heart exposed, breath soft and receptive, and say, "I welcome all good." Feel that openness. Feel how vulnerable it is. Feel how powerful it is. This is not just a posture. This is permission. You are giving life permission to bless you. You are giving yourself permission to receive. And I want you to practice something simple yet revolutionary. Every time someone compliments you, pause, smile gently, and say, "Thank you." No excuses, no minimizing, no shrinking, just receiving, accepting, allowing, because the universe flows toward openness, not resistance. When you open your arms, you mirror the energy of abundance. And when you mirror abundance, abundance mirrors back. This is how energy works. This is how vibration works. This is how self-love works. And so, my darling, let me give you the affirmation that unlocks the door to your next chapter. I deserve love, joy, prosperity, and peace. Say it slowly, say it softly, say it with trust. And if your mind argues, let it argue. Minds argue when old beliefs are dying. Hearts soften when new truths are being born. So speak it again, and again, and again, until the words become familiar, until the words become comforting, until the words become true, because they already are, they always have been. You are learning to remember, you are learning to receive, you are learning to choose yourself. And that, my dear, is what self-love truly means. Day 11, a day of remembering the quiet, powerful magic that has been inside you since the very beginning. The magic of gratitude. Gratitude is not just a nice idea. Gratitude is a transformative energy, a spiritual frequency, a healing vibration that reaches into every corner of your life. There is a reason I have said for years, with a smile, with certainty, with absolute truth, the universe loves gratitude. And it does, my dear. It truly does. Gratitude is the language of acceptance. Gratitude is the language of cooperation. Gratitude is the language of trust. And trust is the birthplace of miracles. I want to tell you something gently. Gratitude is not pretending everything is perfect. Gratitude is choosing to see what is good even when life is imperfect. Gratitude is not denial. Gratitude is direction. It directs your attention toward love, toward possibility, toward softness, toward the next opening life has prepared for you. Gratitude raises your vibration instantly, not slowly, not eventually, but instantly. One thought of gratitude, one whisper of thank you, one moment of appreciating the breath in your chest or the sunlight on your skin, and your entire energy shifts. Fear loosens, the heart softens, the mind opens, the body relaxes, and suddenly the world feels kinder. Do you know why? Because gratitude is a bridge. It connects you to what is already working. It reminds you that even in chaos, there is order. Even in uncertainty, there is support. Even in loneliness, there is presence. Even in difficulty, there are blessings quietly carrying you forward. My dear, Life responds to the tone of your thoughts. When you say thank you, the universe hears, I am ready for more. When you appreciate what you have, you create space for what you desire. When you focus on blessings, you attract more blessings. This is not fantasy. This is energy. This is alignment. This is the law of life. So today I want you to slow down, breathe, and bring your awareness into your present moment. Look around you. Notice what is supporting you right now. The floor beneath your feet, your heartbeat, the device you're listening through, the ability to understand these words, the strength that carried you through every hard day of your life. None of this is small. None of this is accidental. All of it is evidence that life loves you. So here is your practice today. List 20 things you appreciate, not perfect things, not extraordinary things, simple things, everyday things, soft things, the things you usually pass by without noticing, the warm water in your shower, the food that nourished you this morning, the sound of your breath, the beating of your heart, the lessons you've learned, the opportunities on their way, the smile you gave yourself in the mirror today, even if it was small. Write them down and feel your energy rise like a wave of light through your body. And throughout your day, whisper softly, whenever you remember, thank you. Whisper it in the car. Whisper it while you walk. Whisper it while you wash your hands. Whisper it as you breathe. Whisper it as you fall asleep. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let it become your inner song. Let it become the rhythm of your spirit. And then affirm with me, my life is filled with blessings. Say it slowly. Say it sweetly. Say it with trust, because it is true. Blessings are everywhere, waiting for your eyes to recognize them. And now, my darling, we move into day 12, the final day of this journey, a day of coming home to yourself in a way that is deep, tender, committed, and lasting. Day 12 is the day you become your own best friend. Day 12 is the day you stop abandoning yourself. Day 12 is the day you decide that the relationship you have with yourself is the most important relationship of all, the foundation upon which every other relationship will grow. Loving yourself is not a moment. It is a lifestyle. It is a way of breathing. It is a way of speaking. It is a way of choosing. It is a way of existing. And today, you step into that way. You see, for most of your life, you were taught to treat everyone else with kindness, patience, generosity, compassion, everyone except yourself. You learned how to show up for others, how to listen to others, how to soothe others, how to give to others. But no one taught you how to do those things for your own heart. No one taught you how to be loyal to yourself. No one taught you how to support yourself in difficult moments. No one taught you how to stand by your own side when the world felt heavy. But that changes now. Because the truth is simple and profound. The relationship you build with yourself sets the tone for your entire life. When you speak to yourself with love, you teach the world how to treat you. When you value yourself, you attract people who value you. When you stop abandoning yourself, you stop tolerating anyone who abandons you. When you trust yourself, you make wiser decisions. When you nurture your inner world, your outer world becomes more peaceful. Everything begins with you. Everything begins inside. Everything begins with self-love. And so today I want you to do something powerful, something deeply healing and deeply symbolic. I want you to make a promise to yourself, not a promise of perfection, not a promise of never making mistakes, not a promise of being strong all the time. No, a promise of loyalty, a promise of devotion, a promise of presence, a promise that says, I will never abandon myself again. Say it softly, say it gently, say it like a vow. I will never abandon myself again. Feel your heart respond, feel your body relax, feel your inner child exhale. This is what safety feels like. This is what healing feels like. This is what home feels like. Loving yourself does not mean being selfish. Loving yourself does not mean ignoring others. Loving yourself simply means you include yourself in the circle of compassion. You include yourself in the field of love. You include yourself in the list of people worthy of tenderness. You include yourself in the life you are building. And today, you solidify that inclusion by writing a self-love contract, a declaration of how you intend to treat yourself from this day forward. Write things like, I promise to speak to myself with love. I promise to rest when I am tired. I promise to celebrate my progress. I promise to forgive myself often. I promise to protect my peace. Let these promises become your new foundation. Let them become the compass you live by. Let them become the truth you return to again and again. And then say this affirmation with me, slowly, gently, fully. I am whole, complete, and deeply loved. Let the words sink in. Let them become a warm light inside your chest. Let them wrap around the wounded parts of you. Let them soothe old fears. Let them dissolve old doubts. Let them remind you that nothing is missing, nothing is broken, nothing is wrong with you. You are whole. You are complete. You are deeply, deeply loved. Not because of anything you've done, but because of who you are. My darling, as we close this 12-day journey, I want you to feel something profound. You did not learn how to love yourself these past days. You remembered how. The love was always there. The worthiness was always there. The beauty was always there. The truth was always there. You simply cleared the dust. You uncovered what had been waiting. You came home to yourself. And now, as you step forward, carry this knowing gently in your heart. You are your own safe place, your own best friend, your own guide, your own healer, your own home. And every day, every single day, you have the privilege, the honor, the joy of choosing yourself again. My darling, before we close this journey, I want to share something personal with you, something I learned not in a book, not in a classroom, but through living, stumbling, healing, and rising again and again. Many years ago, when I began my own healing work, I didn't have a perfect plan. I didn't have a map. I didn't know exactly what I was doing or where it would lead. What I did have was a tiny spark, a spark of willingness, a spark of curiosity, a spark of hope whispering, maybe life can feel softer than this. Maybe I can treat myself with kindness. Maybe things can change. That small spark was enough. And if you have even a spark inside you, just one, it is enough for you too. I began exactly where you began, with a decision, a fragile, trembling, beautiful decision to try, to open my heart, to release one old thought at a time, to forgive one old wound at a time, to choose one more loving response at a time. And slowly, very slowly at first, my life began to shift. The way I spoke to myself changed. The way I breathed changed. The way my body responded changed. The way I experienced the world changed. And most importantly, the way I experienced myself changed. That is why I created this 12-day journey for you. Not because I want you to achieve self-love, but because I want you to remember it. Not because I want you to perfect healing, but because I want you to allow it. not because I want you to become someone new, but because I want you to return home to who you have always been. And now that you've walked through all 12 days, let me show you gently what has begun to blossom inside you. Even if you don't fully see it yet, after 12 days of choosing yourself, your inner world is different now. You think with more kindness, not because everything is easy, but because you finally understand that being harsh with yourself never helped you grow. You have a softer voice within, a wiser voice, a more loving companion living in your mind. You feel safer and more grounded because you learned how to create safety from the inside instead of desperately searching for it outside. You may not feel perfectly calm all the time, but you know where to return when fear arises. And that is true power. You've begun to release old resentments, the heavy stones you carried for years. They no longer feel like the truth. They feel like old stories that you no longer need to repeat. You are not carrying the past the way you used to. You are lighter now, more open, more spacious inside. You trust yourself more because these 12 days taught you that you are capable, strong, intuitive, wise, and worthy of your own loyalty. You are learning to listen to your inner guidance instead of the noise of the world. That is the beginning of emotional freedom. You've stopped seeking validation, or at least you're beginning to. You now know that your worth is not measured by someone else's approval, attention, affection, or praise. You know that real confidence comes from within. Your intuition has strengthened because you've cleared away so much mental clutter, so many old beliefs, so much noise, that your inner wisdom finally has space to speak. It has always been there. You just needed silence to hear it. You love your body more, not because it suddenly became perfect, but because you learned to talk to it with gratitude, gentleness, and appreciation. You began to treat it like a friend instead of an enemy. And when you love your body feels safer to heal. You walk with more confidence. Not a loud, forced confidence, but a soft, steady confidence that comes from knowing who you are, what you deserve, and how far you've come. You don't shrink to make others comfortable anymore. You don't apologize for existing. You stand in your truth. You connect to abundance because you finally understand that receiving is an act of self-love, not selfishness. You open your arms a little wider. You expect good a little more. You trust life a little deeper. You have become emotionally resilient, not because life stopped being challenging, but because you stopped abandoning yourself in the challenges. You have built an inner home, an inner sanctuary, an inner foundation that cannot be shaken by every passing fear or every shifting circumstance. You now know how to soothe yourself, how to speak to yourself, how to return to peace, how to breathe through difficulty, how to love yourself in the moments that need it most. This is who you are becoming. This is who you have always been. These are the gifts your heart has claimed over these 12 days, gently, naturally, beautifully. And now, my dear, I want to bless you in the way I have blessed so many souls over the years. May you walk forward with a tenderness for yourself that grows deeper each day. May you remember that the voice within you is your most faithful companion. May you greet your reflection with kindness, not criticism. May you trust the timing of your life. May you feel guided, protected, supported, and cherished by the universe. May you release the old stories that no longer serve your joy. May you forgive with ease, breathe with softness, and choose peace more quickly each time. May you open your arms to receive every good thing life has prepared for you. May you know not just in your mind, but in your bones, that you are worthy, you are love, you are enough, and you are safe. And may you remember again and again, life loves you, life has always loved you, and life will continue loving you through every season ahead.